We have a 1929 Model A owned by Charlie Brock of Henrietta, driven by Charlie Brock. Next up we have a 1931 Ford. It's owned by Jimmy Klein of Henrietta, driven by Mark Eccles. Here we have a yellow and black one is a 1956 Bel Air, owned by Ray Shinfall, Wichita Falls, driven by Ray Shinfall. White maroon unit is a 1955 Chevy, owned by Jack Johnson of Burkburnett, Texas, driven by Jack Johnson. Black and white 1968 Chevy Camaro, owned by Bob and Susan Thomas of Henrietta, driven by Ashley. It's a 1992 Mustang, owned by Bobby Camps of Henrietta, driven by Bobby Camps. The orange unit here is a 1962 Ford Falcon, driven by Ron, driven by John. Said you can make a deal on that truck if he's interested.
You never know.
Here we have a 1965 Chevy, owned by Mark Eccles of Henrietta. Here we have a 73 model Mach 1, owned by Mark and Beth Hoffman of Wichita Falls, driven by Mark Hoffman. Owned by Carolyn Turner of Duncan, Oklahoma, and driven by Glenn Kelton. Here we have a white 1967 Pontiac GTO, owned by Derek Sims of Henrietta, driven by Derek Sims. We have a blue 1964 Ford Falcon, owned by Billy Griffin of Henrietta, driven by Billy Griffin. Here we have a yellow 1965 Ford Mustang, owned by Tommy Lyde of Henrietta, Texas, driven by Tommy Lyde. Looking good there, Tom. Yeah. See, that's not going to be that. More like it. 72 Ford 100, owned by Dan Shepard of Henrietta, driven by Jason Shepard. Here we've got a 1968 Ford Mustang, owned by Dustin Eccles, Henrietta, Texas, driven by Dustin. Here we have a black 1968 Camaro, owned by Robbie and Cindy King from Fort Worth and Byers. It's driven by Robbie King. Here we have a 1969 Chevy Impala, owned by Ed Henley of Wichita Falls, driven by Ed Henley. Owned by Perry Garrison, from Vashti, driven by Trace Garrison. The Jeep right here is a 93 model Jeep Wrangler, owned by Casey McLean of Amarillo, Texas, and driven by Casey. Don't forget our dummy roping again this year over on the Old City Hall lawn. It's going to be beginning at 11 a.m. All ages. Entries are taken $5 each. Here's a 1927 T Roadster,